Hello students, how are you? Welcome to AriserTalent. Today we are going to discuss the movement of air. As you know, we are studying natural resources. We are studying topic natural resources, in which I have already explained you atmosphere and its importance. Atmosphere means envelope of air around the earth and how it protects us from the harmful ultraviolet rays, and what are the other functions of atmosphere I have already told you. Now today we are going to discuss the movement of air, means how the air moves, and in this topic I'll tell you that how the rain causes. Okay, so let me tell you the movement of air means how the air moves. What are the reasons? How do you feel if there is a sunny day, hot summer day, and suddenly you get a wind to blow and suddenly you get a wind? Then what do you feel? Definitely you feel cool, you feel better because of the because you get the relief. Okay, so what makes the changes in the atmosphere? What causes changes in the atmosphere? So let's discuss about the things. Suppose there are two factors which causes change in the atmosphere: heating of air and formation of water vapor. Okay, what happens when the solar radiations enter in the atmosphere? Some radiations are absorbed by the atmosphere, but some are reflected by the land that time that air is heated up. Okay, solar radiations falls on the earth. Some are absorbed by the atmosphere and some are reflected. Okay, some are absorbed in the atmosphere and some are reflected. This make the air warm, or thus we can say the air is heated up. Thus the air is heated up or it becomes warmer. And formation of water vapor: when the solar radiations fall on the water bodies, water gets heated up and then it rises up and form the water vapor. When solar radiations falls on the water bodies, then water gets heated and rises up as water vapor. Okay, so these two changes causes different changes or different events in the atmosphere. Clear? So let me tell you next how the movement of coastal air take place. Air movement at the coastal area. Okay, what happens when the solar radiation falls on the land and water? Land gets warmer very quickly comparatively seawater. Okay, so when the land gets warmer, then air rises up air becomes hot and it rises up, and it creates a low pressure region. Then the air from the sea blows towards it to take its place. And all these happens during the daytime when there is the sun. When the solar radiation falls on the land and water at the same time, air above the land gets heated up and rises up. Hot air rises up, and here it creates the low pressure region. Here it is low pressure region. Okay. Then the air from the sea, which is still cooler comparatively land, because both are warmed up at the same time, but air from the land gets warmer very quickly, and then it rises up. Comparatively, sea wind is cool comparatively, and then it blows from sea to land. Okay, so we can say cool air from sea blows from sea to land, and then it takes its place, and it happens during the day. Movement of air during the day. And at night the condition is just opposite to it. When the solar radiations fall on the land and sea, and its seawater, okay, when the solar radiations fall on the land and sea, they become warmer, but land air warms up very quickly, and then it rises up. Hot air rises up in the atmosphere, and then it creates the low pressure region here. Here this is the low air pressure region. Okay. So when the hot air rises up at the below, it creates low air pressure region. At the same time, cool air from the sea blows towards the land to take its place. Cool air blows towards land. Okay. And it all happens during the day. Movement of air during the Thus we can say that during the day winds from sea blows from the sea to land, and these are also known as sea breeze, generally known as sea breeze, in which wind blows from sea to land. At the night, condition is totally opposite to it. At night, land and sea both cools down. Okay, this is seawater. But seawater takes time to cool. That what happens, then warm air from the sea rises up. Warm air or hot air rises up, and at the same time cool air from the land blows to the sea. Okay, so thus we can say at night when the wind blows from land to sea, it's also known as land breeze. Movement of air during the, or we can say at night. Okay, it's also known as land breeze. Clear? So let's talk about the how are clouds formed. Before discussing how are clouds form, let me tell you what are the factors which makes the air move. Yeah, what are the factors which causes the movement of air? Factors that causes movement of air. Number one factor is uneven heating of the land in different regions. Uneven heating of land regions means land get heated at the different regions in the different levels. Another is difference between heating and cooling of water bodies and land. Okay, difference between heating and cooling of water bodies at land. Next reason is formation of water vapor, formation of water vapor. Okay, rotation of earth, and presence of mountain ranges, presence of mountain ranges in the path of wind. Okay, so thus we can say these are the factors which influence the movement of air, which cause the movement of air or which can influence the movement of air. That is uneven heating of land regions means different at the different regions the land gets heated at the different levels. Difference between heating and cooling of water bodies and land, then formation of water vapor, rotation of earth and presence of mountain ranges in the path of wind. Okay, now let's talk about how are clouds formed and how they cause the rain. Formation of clouds. And rain. How it causes rain? What happens when the solar radiations fall on the water bodies? Then water gets heated up and it rises up in this atmosphere as the water vapor. and beside it water vapor is present by the transpiration of plants and by the human activities by like the respiration. Okay, when this water vapor rises up in the atmosphere, then it comes in the contact with the air. Okay, then it condenses into tiny water droplets. Then when these tiny water droplets get collected and then they form clouds by the process of condensation. When these tiny droplets form clouds and then they cannot hold the water, then these water droplets fall down on the earth as rain. Clear? When solar radiations fall on the water bodies, then this water gets heated up and rises up as the water vapor. Means the formation of water vapor is generally known as evaporation. Okay, means when solar radiations fall on the water, then by the process of evaporation water vapor is formed and it rises up, and when it comes in the contact with air in the atmosphere, it forms tiny water droplets. Clear? And when these tiny water droplets are get collected together, then they form clouds by the process of condensation. This process is known as condensation. Okay, when these tiny water droplets become big and they cannot hold the water anymore, then these water droplets fall down on the earth as rain. Okay, this is rain. Thus we can say that water vapor goes higher up in the sky and then forms water droplets. These water droplets condense and form the clouds. So this is the whole process of formation of clouds and it causes rain. Now next we will talk about air pollution. Our next topic is air pollution. What are the causes of air pollution? Okay. So our next topic is air pollution. What is air pollution? When harmful substances get mixed in the air, it pollute the air. Okay. So thus we can say the undesirable change in the physical, chemical or biological characteristics of the air which are harmful for the living things, living organism, that is called air pollution. Thus we can say undesirable means unwanted change in physical, chemical and biological characteristics of air that are harmful for living organisms. Okay, so whatever substance which are added in the air and they are harmful for the living organisms, they are called pollutant. What are pollutants? Thus we can say substances that makes air impure, or thus we can say substances that cause pollution are known as pollutant, or substances that cause pollution are called pollutants. Okay, so what are the sources which cause the air pollution? Now we will discuss about them. What are the sources? We talk about the pollutants, that substances which make the air impure or which cause the pollution are pollutant. But what are the sources which makes the air impure or they cause the air pollution? Sources of air pollution. If we talk about the sources of air pollution, then sources of air pollution are of two types: natural sources and man-made sources. Natural sources and man-made sources. Natural sources of air pollution are: number one, if we talk about number one, that volcanic eruption. Volcano eruption. When the volcano erupts, it releases many toxic gases in the air, ashes in the air, and then these toxic gases make the air makes the air pollute or can pollute the air, and they are very harmful to living organism. Thus we can say they release toxic gases. Beside it, another factor is burning of fossil fuel, or we can say burning of forest, or thus we can say forest fire. When the forest fire occurs, it releases many harmful gases in the air and it also pollute the air. Harmful gases. Okay. Electric storm. It also releases many harmful gases in the air and pollutes it. Okay. Another is decaying of organic matter. Decaying of organic matter. Okay, when the organic matter decays, it releases harmful gases, or we can say it releases amino acids, or in the form of ammonia, or thus we can say ammonia. It releases ammonia gas, which is very harmful. Beside it, pollen grains are also known as air pollutant. Pollen grain spores means presence of pollen grains and spores also pollute the air. Okay. Next, if we talk about man-made resources, then as we all know that man performs many activities which can cause many harms to the environment. Like if it uses fire, urbanization, okay, and uses of automobiles, they release harmful gases in the air and then it pollutes the air. Thus, we can say man-made resources are using of fire, okay, automobiles, burning of fuels, burning of forest or burning of wood. Thus, we can say burning of wood, so these are the main reasons which pollute the air. Now, what are the harmful effects of air pollution? We will discuss them now. As we all know, air is needed for us for breathing, okay, but when the pollutant mix with the air, they pollute it and then the polluted air becomes very harmful for us. So what are the harmful effects of air pollution? Let's discuss. Number one, it causes respiratory problems. It causes respiratory problems, okay, and it may cause acid rain, it may cause global warming, okay. So let's discuss about the respiratory problems. When we breathe in harmful gas inside our body, then it can affect our lungs and may cause many harmful diseases like bronchitis, asthma and tuberculosis, okay. It may cause many harmful diseases like bronchitis, asthma, okay, and allergy, etc. Okay. Generally, we know that if we will breathe polluted air inside the lungs, it can cause these kind of respiratory problems. Acid rain. Next, if we talk about the acid rain, what happens? Acid rain means it contains acid in it. What kind of acid it contains? Generally sulfuric acid and nitric acid. Acid rain generally it contains sulfuric acid and nitric acid. And the amount of this acid depends on the amount of oxide of sulfur and oxides of sulfur and nitric in the atmosphere. Okay, what happens when they get mixed with the water, then they form the acids, and when they fall on the earth, they fall as the acid rain. Clear? When these come in the contact or oxide, thus we can say when the oxides of sulfur and nitrogen come in the contact with the H2O, okay, then they form acid rain, okay. And this acid rain is very harmful for the land and animals. Okay, it can affect the soil and it can affect the animals life, as well as it can affect the water bodies, means whatever the aquatic animals and plants are present in the water bodies, it can affect them. Next, if we will talk about the global warming, as we all know, if the air is containing harmful gases in it, definitely it will increase the temperature in the atmosphere, and generally it is caused by greenhouse effect. If we talk about global warming, okay, if we talk about global warming, then generally it is caused by the greenhouse effect. What is greenhouse effect? When the number of harmful gases increases in the air, they increase the temperature of atmosphere. How? Because we all know then some amount of radiations, solar radiations are reflected by the earth, and then it is absorbed by the atmosphere. Then what happens when the number of greenhouse gases increases in the atmosphere? Then it increases the temperature of atmosphere, and thus it causes global warming. Okay, so thus we can say when number of greenhouse gases, or we can say when amount of greenhouse gases increases in the environment, in the atmosphere or environment. Okay, when the amount of greenhouse gases increases in the atmosphere, it warms or it increases temperature of atmosphere, and generally known as global warming. Okay. Now next is carbon monoxide. Another harmful effect is presence of carbon monoxide. And when the carbon monoxide is present, it is known as carbon monoxide poisoning. Okay, what is it? Generally we know carbon monoxide is released by motor vehicles, okay, and smoke of cigarette. When the number of carbon monoxide increases, okay, and when we take it in the, or we can say we breathe inside the body, then what happens? It causes harm to us. Generally we know our blood carries oxygen, which contains oxygen in it, okay, but what happens when we breathe in carbon monoxide? Then it goes to the lungs and it get mixed with the hemoglobin in the blood, and it makes carboxy hemoglobin, which is very harmful for the human beings. Okay, generally we know our blood contains hemoglobin, which carry oxygen in it, and it takes to all parts of the body, and takes to all parts of body as oxyhemoglobin. Okay, but when it comes in the contact with the carbon monoxide, then it forms carboxyhemoglobin. It is known as the carboxyhemoglobin, which is very harmful for breathing, or we can say which can cause many diseases, and it can cause suffocation and can cause to the death. Okay, next is smoke. Next topic, if we talk about the other harmful effect of polluted air, is smoke. Okay, generally it is formed by the fog. Okay, what happens when the fog comes in the contact with the dust particles and many harmful gases, then it makes the smoke, and it can cause accidents also. Okay, and it can make the difficulty in visibility. When the fog come in the contact with the dust particles and other particles or gases, okay, then it forms smoke and it causes invisibility, which may cause accident, which may cause or which may lead to accidents. Now next we will discuss about water pollution.